Then they had a trios tag team match. They've got to, they can't even say 6-man tag match. They've got to do the lucha terminology. At least there was one lucha guy in here. Penthouse and Pac and Eddie Kingston against the Cucamonga Kids and Brandon Cutler. And Penthouse, of course, and Pac were heels last week, but as Kingston said, he's teaming with them because the enemies of my enemies are my friends. But the best thing about Penthouse is his interpreter, Alex, and now here we have no Alex. And by the way, I don't know, I might retire the Cucamonga Kids because as reading my emails, I mentioned I've been going through a few weeks worth. There has been a campaign recently to call them the Hardley Boys because they do imitate Jeff and Matt as much as they imitate anybody else. And also, they always look from those looks on their faces like they have a raging clue. So they may be the Hardley Boys. Could you get a raging clue about that? Hardley Boy number one? Oh, yes.
I'm not crazy about the Hardley Boys. I like the Cucamonga
I'm not
Kids.
crazy about any of these fucking people. You don't watch South Park a lot, do you? Anyway, they are the Cucamonga Kids then are now literally cosplaying every top heel wrestler ever because they come out. It looks like a Halloween costume advertisement where kids are dressed up as their favorite pro wrestlers. But they don't really have the copyright on any pro wrestlers, so they've just made generic costumes that look like pro wrestlers would wear. I was actually, during this match, compiling my notes on the rest of this program. I looked up at one point, and they were doing comedy with Cutler. And then I didn't pay any attention for a lot longer, and then the kids double super kicked Cutler by accident, but he went to a knee. His own partners, the tag team champions, double super kicked him by accident when the babyface ducks, and he went to a knee. And then Penthouse ran at Balding Buck, who I guess now is that he's changed his hair color. Is he setting it up for when he has to get fake implants that they can all be the same color? So you think that's what he's doing now or what?
I don't know. I mean, now that he's a heel, he's grown the facial hair. He's dyed his hair darker. And I said it a few weeks ago that I commended him for the fact that although his brother hams it up and acts like such a goof, then no one could take him seriously. He's not a tough guy. Doesn't come across like much of a wrestler to a lot of people. He comes across like someone pretending. I thought Nick at least came across as genuine in what he was. Now he's hamming it up too. So now you have two guys pretending to be heel wrestlers as they've always envisioned, and they're so unoriginal, they just basically have to copy whatever anyone else did. I'm really not digging it. I really hated this match. We'll get into the rest of the match and the fucking referee, I'm sure, in a moment.
The Ham and Eggers. The Ham and Eggers hamming it up. But after that double super kick spot, well, here's what we won't get in the rest of the match because I didn't see any more, because the very next thing that happened, Penthouse ran at Balding Buck and jumped up into his arms, and Balding Buck caught him. And then they did the actual circus performer double thing where the one guy waist locks the other guy and the guy does a forward roll, and they actually do forward rolls around the stage, right? Well, they did that. They both forward rolled, and then Penthouse jumped up and over Pieface, Balding's brother, and gave, in quotation marks, him a Canadian destroyer out of that. And I said, fuck it, time is wasting. So I fast forwarded to the finish. Pac somehow beat Cutler, but it took a long time. And by the way, Cutler is wearing a red tracksuit with that weird plexiglass facial shield in front of him. I guess it looks like he's a salad bar at the Golden Corral. So after he gets pinned, guess what they did after that? Afterbirth. So the Bucks are joined by Gallows and Anderson to get heat on Kingston and Penthouse. They did something to Pac, and Pac disappeared. And then Kazarian hits the ring for the save, and then the other heels leave, but they leave Cutler in the ring so they can get beat up some more. So the baby faces win. Then the heels get some heat on them, but then the babyface makes a save, but then they leave the flunky heel in the ring long enough to beat him up and take the heat off the heels for what they just did. This was just a complete fucking abortion. Just a mess. And there was that.
During the middle of the match, I just realized how much I hated this. And I've been more lenient to the Bucks than you, but I really don't like them now that they're so cartoony, because I'm sick of that. And, Omega and Callis are already cartoony. We don't need more of that. But then, watching this match, and like every Bucks match, they're not creative enough to put together their match and do their spots in the confines of rules. So like every Bucks match, at some point, it just devolves, or I guess devolves would be the word.
Devolves, degenerates,
devolves
descends
into everyone in the ring, everyone out of the ring, everyone doing everything. The referee does nothing. We talk about this. That referee's garbage. He's only there because he's friends with these clowns. This week I actually watched. They're all either on the floor or at the edge of the ring. The referee is in the corner, the far corner from them. It was like he was signing the match. The one guy gets super kicked. I watched the referee. He puts his hand on his head. He's signing what they're doing. I saw that once years ago when I was in England and I watched Raw. And they had a guy like doing the moves at the bottom in sign language.
Yes, they do that. They have sign language interpreters on the TV shows in England, and they sign not only the statements, but also the actions.
That's what that referee does. He literally does nothing. Why not just have the Bucks matches with no referee? Why even
Brian, because that would be phony.
So lazy. I'm just so sick of their style of match. It's the same fucking thing every time. Let's do a bunch of things.
And then they do their babyface buck shit in the middle of acting like heels. Then they'll bust out a backflip into a fucking something that a babyface would do. The same thing they do in their babyface matches. And then they make mean faces after they do it. It just